Malo Lele, and welcome back to Poly Pathways. Today's video is an important topic, and especially for us Polynesians working in a predominantly European environment, workplace racism. This is an important topic, and a lot of us will question whether we fit in. Despite advancements in workplace diversity and inclusion, workplace racism still exists in some forms across industries, including engineering. I have been in the engineering industry for just over 12 years, and I've experienced some form of racism over my time. And I want to share some of those experiences with you. Racism can also be a gray area and prone to a lot of subjectivity, so I will try and break it down with as much objectivity as I can. But this is my perspective. In order to look at workplace racism, you have to review and understand the environment that you're in and the history of the people. New Zealand has a long history of racism, from colonization to stripping of Māori land to dawn raids. New Zealand has had its fair share of racism. Despite New Zealand's reputation for diversity and inclusion, there are ongoing issues related to discrimination, particularly affecting Māori and Pasifika and other minority groups. So in saying that, I don't believe New Zealand are blatantly racist, but there is some subtle racism that goes on. New Zealand's engineering industry has a strong history of European males, so the industry norms and ways of thinking historically will be shaped around their thinking and perspective. If you have anything different, it will stand out. In my career, I've only had a few instances where people have made remarks or gestures to suggest that I don't belong in the engineering industry. However, I've had a lot more positive interactions with my non-Polynesian peers than bad. My current workplace has been really supportive of my culture and encourage other Polynesians to bring their culture to the workplace. And I'm not just saying that so I don't get fired. I'd also like to bring up a similar topic called unconscious bias. If you haven't heard of unconscious bias, it is the social stereotypes about certain groups of people that individuals form outside their own conscious awareness. Everyone holds unconscious beliefs about other groups, social and identity groups, and these biases stem from one's tendency to organize social worlds by categorizing. These biases are formed by the brain making quick decisions and judgments based on past and previous experience and social teachings, which can be deeply ingrained from a young age. In the engineering profession, and similar to other industries, we tend to make quick decisions based on what information we have in front of us. I certainly know what it's like being a manager and having staff come up to me wanting quick decisions based on what information they have. You get used to trying to make quick decisions based on what little information you have. We end up programming our minds to make easy assumptions, and I believe this is the same when it comes to making decisions about people. You will automatically categorize people into groups based on what information you have about them. Our unconscious biases play a big part in this. Let's be honest, even if you're from a Polynesian background, you too will have unconscious biases and make judgments of others. We need to be very mindful of our unconscious bias and how this can also lead to racism. In settings such as workplace environment, unconscious bias can have a big part in someone's career progression or hiring. This can lead to systemic disadvantages for certain minority groups, even if the individuals making those decisions feel like they're making impartial and fair decisions. Because unconscious biases operate without people knowing what they're doing consciously, individuals might not recognize their own biases or the impact they have. This can hinder efforts to reduce racism, as people may not feel the need to change or may deny the presence of biases. In my workplace, I always make it my duty to challenge what my peers think of Polynesians and how they behave. I have that choice, and I choose to make that positive impact or positive perception of what a Polynesian is. Because I genuinely believe Polynesians are good people, they have a lot to offer, and they have good values to bring to the table. If I do change that perspective, they will enjoy interacting with me and make my job easier. This will also pave the way for future Polynesians to help make their experiences better. I'd like to share a few examples of where I've helped shape the perception of Polynesians to my peers. The first thing to do is try to figure out who you are and what your identity is in the workplace and what you want to share from your culture. For me, I had to figure out what qualities did I want to bring to work. Because of my Polynesian background, it's safe to say we all love a good laugh and we love roasting people. So I try and bring that to work, but the key difference is trying to figure out how you can apply that in the work setting. If it was my choice, I'd be telling jokes all day, but the reality is I can't go around telling jokes all day. And if you go around telling jokes all day, people won't take you seriously in the workplace and they think you won't be able to get the job done. You have to try and pick your moments throughout the day of when you can drop that comment or that joke so that your colleagues enjoy being around you. But at the same time, you also need to show that you can get stuff done. Remember from my last video, I spoke about how people leaders or other people in the business like people who get the job done. Overall, I do believe there is still some subtle racism in New Zealand and a lot of stereotyping. Everyone has unconscious biases, and that includes you too. I believe you can be the one that helps reshape and challenge the perspective of Polynesians to our non-Polynesian peers. If you have experienced workplace racism, I highly encourage you to speak up, talk to your manager or someone in the HR department. I hope this short video helps you to navigate workplace racism and help create a more inclusive and respectful work environment. Let's keep the conversation going. Comment below with your experiences or suggestions of how you can help improve workplace racism, or suggestions for creating a more positive environment. Something one of my Polynesian colleagues told me at work, Faye Salem, another Polynesian engineer: you can't control the perception of your peers, but you can control your own. Thank you for watching and being part of this important conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to others to help spread awareness. Stay tuned for more discussions and insights here on Poly Pathways. Ofatu.